We have with us today Germando Harris, who has been in the Powhatan community for several years, many years. I understand he has grown up here in Powhatan. So we're going to switch a little bit, and we're going to go and look at civil rights. So, Mr. Harris, tell us a little bit about the civil rights movement here in Powhatan, and how did that affect you?
I'm a lifelong resident of Powhatan, Virginia. The only time I wasn't in Powhatan was in college and um, when lived in Henrico for a few years. Well, one of my papers in college was about civil rights, the Civil Rights and the Voting Rights Act. In Powhatan, when you talk about civil rights, I can talk about and remember um, people, blacks especially, fighting for their rights, fighting for their civil rights. My grandfather, my cousins, great grandfather, and a lot of other people in the community, the Miles, the Bells, um, all of them fighting for their rights. And some of those people, I remember those people going to the march in D.C. In 1963, I believe it was, August 28, 1963. So the civil rights, the people in Powhatan really took part in getting their rights restored or even achieved. In Powhatan County, when the law said that you had to integrate the schools, we had some kids, black kids, go down to, quote, the white school to integrate.
So, what were some of the challenges that people faced during this time?
We always had secondhand books. Um, Nothing, our school was not as, quote, modernized as the white schools and all. So these were challenges that the people in Powhatan fought for and achieved. They got that, and then in '69 they consolidated and brought everybody together. So that was a good thing. Children today are different than when I grew up as a child. Um, a lot of the children don't see color, which is a good thing that are participating in programs for equality, equity, and in all areas of life. Um, the key though is we have to get these parents who are teaching these children bad things. We have to get them on board. But I see the children making really good progress um, in inequality and getting things done, especially in this climate of racial unrest and racial inequality.
So, who were some of the leaders in Powhatan during the civil rights movement?
Blacks used to be appointed to boards. We had years ago. We had maybe two or three blacks being appointed to a board, school board, or none being appointed to the board of supervisors because the board of supervisors were elected, but school board members weren't at one time. But then the state law changed, and then localities had the opportunity to vote for school board members also. That when that occurred, then I became the first elected black school board member and the first elected black chairman of the school board. But if not for those people who came through, uh, Mr. Hobson and all of them, um, then we wouldn't have had the opportunity to put blacks on boards. The sad part about it in Powhatan County is since Ms. Margaret Manning and I were on serving on, she was on the board of supervisors and I was on the school board. Since we left, there has not been an African American or a person of color on the board of supervisors or the school board, and that kind of, in my opinion, has set us back a little bit. Things have a way of coming back when things are not right, and with the protests and marches and all that have occurred in this country in the last year, that has brought forth a light in which Martin Luther King fought, and that is for equality in justice and law, and equality in education and all those things. And those things now are at the forefront. And once that education, once that gets out there, and people get involved, then Dr. King's legacy and Dr. King's message that he had transpired or sent is going to be realized.
Dr. Martin Luther King left a legacy. What legacy would you leave here in Powhatan?
I want them to think of me as being a person who wanted to and always helped those who may be less fortunate, those who may not have the opportunity or to get something done, or say such as a piece of paper, filling out a form, helping those people. I've always helped children throughout my career, and I think that should be left as he was a person who would help people.
Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it.
No, you got